Hello everyone, I am Adam, and welcome to the Vintage Sanctuary. Double shaka to everyone. By the way, those are the first shakas I have ever done. I practiced a couple like a minute ago for this video. Uh, I didn't even know what a shaka is, so I'm going to read the definition I got here from the Oxford Languages Dictionary, I guess. A hand gesture in which the thumb and little finger are extended outward from a closed fist, used when greeting or parting from someone or to express approval, solidarity, etc. Well, we certainly have a lot of approval of one another and our vintage collecting, and a lot of solidarity in our vintage collecting community. And so this is my first ever video response for DoubleD vintage baseball cards. Dylan, who said recently in a video that he wants to do a 500 subscriber giveaway, but he doesn't want to give away vintage baseball cards because he's so attached to them. I hope, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but something along those lines. And I really appreciated that openness, and I think most of us can relate to that. However, he has handmade a couple of gorgeous holders that you could put your cards in. And so for the video response, he wants us to tell us what we would do with that holder. And I've got to say, I listened to Pepino Man's video response for DoubleD vintage baseball cards today. And I'm like, okay, his video already, blows mine away. I'm not going to even try to be humorous because there's no way I could top that. I don't want to give it away if you haven't seen it, but that was good. But anyway, I'm just excited to do this video response. And if I win one of those holders, great. And if I don't, I had a great time, and I'll be happy for whoever does. So for this response, I wanted to show a card that was one of the early cards I pursued that I just fell in love with. And as I look at my collection right now, what card do I think is the most beautiful, just the most artistic, just the most, the greatest vintage art among those cards that are in my collection? And, I think I could come up with several candidates for sure, because after all, we often choose cards for our collection based on their visual appeal, as well as the player and so forth. But I came up with one, and I think Dylan's going to love. I know he already loves this card. He has a copy of this card. I believe it's one of his favorites. He can correct me if I'm wrong. But, it's just looking at the front of the card. To me, this I would give the award as the most beautiful, the most, the greatest vintage artistic design out of all the cards that I have. And when I was looking for a copy of this card, centering wasn't so important to me. I was looking for just, clean, because a lot of these are toned for some reason. I don't know if the paper stock was prone to toning easily or what, but a lot of these are toned. And, just vibrant, bright colors. Let me not keep you in suspense any longer. Let me show you the card. This is the card that if I win one of these holders, I will display it in that holder for a full month before I display other cards in the holder. So here we go. The 1953 Topps Yogi Berra. To me, the front of this card is just unbelievable art. I could just stare at this card all day. And I achieved my mission of getting a really sharp one. Notice it's definitely off-center, top to bottom some, and more off-center to the right. But in my humble opinion, it doesn't really matter as much for this card, because notice that much of the border is this really light sky with the clouds and the light blue in the sky, plus his jersey's pretty light over there on the left side where it extends out to the border. So in my mind, the centering isn't so important with a card like this that's you know, somewhere between a bordered card in a sense and a non-bordered card. So let me show you this beauty. It's got a little crinkle up there in that upper left corner, but you know, that doesn't bother me a bit. It is so clean, so vibrant, so fresh. And you know, the all-important lower left corner, that red corner, the red was for the American League teams, and then the black name plates for the National League teams. But that red corner is just, you know, sharp and wonderful for this issue. And then I'll show you the back as well. Yeah, I used to be somewhat bummed out that, you know, it would be pretty darn unlikely I would ever collect all of the mainstream Mickey Mantle cards, because some of them are just crazy expensive. Of course, I'd still love to do that if I could, but I think I'm probably more of a Yogi Berra fan at this point. I'm not suggesting that Mickey Mantle is a better player by any means, but Yogi Berra was darn impressive. Also a cultural icon. Just, you know, just a great person, and, you know, incredible personality, slugger, you know, the Ring King, 3-time MVP, high in the MVP voting, so many years. Actually, that's really, really impressive. And of course, known for his yogiisms. This video is getting too long, but you probably just want to stare at this card too. So this is the card. This is it. When I beat Pepino Man, I'm going to display this card in that holder for a month. Then maybe I'll send the holder off to Pepino Man so he can display his mantles in there for a while. Thank you very much. I hope you had a wonderful and peaceful time in the Vintage Sanctuary.